Challenges that we face in our lives, whether it be every day, whether it be certain situations with a loved one passing, a relationship breakup, a job, losing a job or shifting job, kids, whatever struggles you may find yourself dealing with, we're diving in on how to really get the most out of the struggles that we're dealing with, the right perspective to look at it, and ultimately get the most out of life.
'Cause we're born free, the way we should be, with no one telling us how to love, and no more getting on our knees, and everybody say
Welcome back to Spiritual Misfit. My name is Christian, and here we just talk about living our best life. We talk about the ups, the downs, all the different challenges, and all the fun stuff. You know, I love rocks, minerals, crystals, and all that stuff. I go out, I find them. I love to rock hound all of that. I have a big part of how rocks, minerals, and crystals really help me with a lot of different aspects of my life, how they've taught me a lot of different things about myself, as well as fitness, food, and just your overall mindset, and how all these different things really come together to connect, all right, the triangle, being able to connect body, mind, and our spirit or higher self. So let's dive in. All right, right now we are in the last week of September as I'm making this video. It is Tuesday, all right, the last week of September. And last week, all right, so we're in the last week, the second to last week of September, was a tough week for a lot of the clients that I work with, a lot of my friends, family. A lot of people were dealing with a lot of stuff, even myself, all right? I went through a huge change last week, and it was quite challenging. Now, I'm not gonna get into what happened with me last week. I'm gonna save that for another video, but I will be breaking it down and going over it and sharing with you what happened, my experience, and how I'm handling that, because it was a huge, significant life change that I went through. But overall, let's talk about last week. All right, last week, second to last week of September, if you're into astrology and all, we had a bunch of planets in retrograde. So, you know, I'm not super knowledgeable on astrology, but I'm learning, I'm working on educating myself on it, and I do follow a lot of people that that's what they do, is astrology. So there's a lot of information that came through to me that really kind of just gave me a heads up, like, hey, Christian, watch out, things may get a little crazy. And sure enough, they did. And I had a lot of clients, a lot of friends, a lot of family tell me the same thing. They hit me up, they called me, or I ran into them, and they just kind of broke down and said, oh my gosh, my life is a mess right now, and it all just kind of happened this week. So, all right, one thing that I've been learning with astrology is that there is a lot of truth to it. All right, I've also been studying ancient civilizations, and all these ancient civilizations, they use astrology, they use the stars, they use these different things to really focus in on what's going on, you know? Last week, speaking of ancient civilizations, we ended what they call a Shemitah. Now, this is more so for Hebrew, you know, civilization, and all the way back to the beginning. The Shemitah is a 7-year cycle, and we just finished the 7th 7-year cycle, which also brings us into what some call a Jubilee, the 50th year. So 7 cycles of 7 is 49, and then it brings us into that 50th year. Now, I'm not going to go into exactly what the Shemitah is or what the Jubilee is. I encourage you to do some of your own research. If that resonates with you and if that intrigues, you know, some thought, go in and do some research, all right? Because the more you're able to do your own research, you educate yourself, you're going to be able to make your own opinions, take your own perspectives on a lot of the things that I talk about. And, you know, my truth isn't going to necessarily always be yours. We need to be able to work on our own journey and research and look up the things that resonate with us. You know what I mean? So it's important that you do that, because that is part of your journey. Now, talking about last week, all right? So a lot of people shared with me some of their specific things. And, you know, the biggest thing that we often don't realize when shit hits the fan, when life gets tough, when we lose someone that we really love and care about, or anything like that at all, we get filled with emotions. And those emotions are totally totally okay, and you need to be able to allow those emotions to work through you. Whether you're sad, you're angry, you're frustrated, give yourself some grace to be able to let those emotions out. Whether you cry, whether you go and you want to punch a punching bag, don't destroy your house. Go to get a punching bag and, get some boxing in or something. Or if that's just going for a run or going surfing or playing music or whatever it is, dancing, singing, whatever, to get those emotions out. Give yourself some time to just get it out. Get it out. But the big thing that's important is give yourself a timeline. How long am I going to grieve this thing? How long am I going to be angry about this? All right. Obviously, the quicker that you can roll through those emotions and be able to get yourself back on track, the better the outcome is going to be. The quicker you're going to be able to get back to you and doing the things that you're supposed to do. But give yourself time, allow yourself to work through those emotions, because if we don't recognize those emotions and if we just push it down, it's going to create more problems for you down the road. So it's important. Give yourself a couple days, give yourself a week, maybe 2 weeks to work through it. All right. But after that, give yourself a deadline. Like, look, my life seems like shit right now. Everything seems terrible, but it's okay because I know that it's not. All right. Give yourself, look at some things to be grateful for. Work on your gratitude. I'm thankful that I woke up today. I'm thankful that I can breathe, that I can see, I can hear, that I can smell. I'm thankful that, hopefully you got food in your fridge. I'm thankful that I got a phone or a computer to be able to watch this video and to do the things that I like to do on these devices. If you got a car, be thankful you got a car. You got gas in your car, be thankful you got gas in your car. And as you're grieving through, it's important to have these, this list of gratitude, of the things that you are thankful for, because oftentimes we can just let this rain cloud come through and we don't see any sunshine at all. But really the sun is still there. That light is still there. All right. And if we just fully just let our mind go into that negative aspect and we keep it there, again, you're gonna open yourself up for a lot of turmoil and a lot more frustration down the road, and you're not gonna truly get to the places that you want to. Now, whatever situation that you are dealing with in your life, know that you're not alone, all right? Like I said, I have had more people last week come up to me and just break down of the things that they're dealing with than I've really had probably in about the last 6 months to maybe even a year. I mean, there was probably like 20 to 40 people that reached out to me or that I ran into or whatnot that are really, really struggling with some stuff. So I've got 2 examples that I'm going to share with you on what happened with 2 individuals that told me it's okay to be able to share this, and just kind of how I worked it with them. All right. The first one, our babysitter. We went to go see Iron Maiden, one of my favorite bands, my 3rd favorite band of all time. I absolutely love Iron Maiden, but we had a babysitter come in to watch our littlest one. And I brought my older son with me. It was his first show, his first concert, so we had a blast. But her uncle just died, literally like the day before or 2 days before. So either on last Friday or Saturday. We went to the show on Sunday. And she came and she kind of just she told me, and then she started breaking down. And luckily my wife was getting dressed and stuff still, so I had some time to be able to talk to her. And, I told her, look, I totally, that's really hard to deal with. And, you have every right to be sad and be emotional and all of this. In fact, it's important to be able to do so. Cry, scream, let it out. Whatever it is you need to do to be able to get those emotions out is important to be able to do. But give yourself a timeline, because especially if we lose a loved one, what do you think that they really want us to do? Do you really think that they want you to be sad, be angry for forever because they're not in your life anymore? Or would you think that they'd want you to be able to move on and be happy and have you know that they're always there watching over you? All right, another thing is that her uncle, she got to live with her uncle for a long time while she was a kid, she expressed. She was living, it was her mom's uncle, and when she was living with her mom, her uncle was living there with her, and she got to spend quite some time, majority of her childhood, living with her uncle. And so a lot of people don't get to have that experience. And so I said, hey, look, you were really blessed to be able to have all of that time growing up with your uncle. And she's like, yeah, I know, but like, honestly, I don't have any pictures with him. She had no pictures with him. And she's like, he called me a couple times over the last like 6 months to a year, and I didn't return his calls. And so I just have a lot of regret that I'm dealing with. And I feel that I really blew it on not, taking pictures or returning his calls and going and hanging out with him and all that stuff. And I said, yeah, that's a bummer, and that's tough because now they're not here, you know what I mean? And now you regret and you beat yourself up for the things that we didn't do. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can change about that. So I told her, yeah, you know that, and you've got to let it go. Now I'm going to come back to that part and explain something that I explained to her. But before I get to that part, she also expressed that he was dealing with colon cancer for about a year and a half, and he was really struggling with that. He was in a lot of pain with that. Now, he didn't pass away from the colon cancer. He actually passed away in the middle of the night in his sleep. So, luckily, we talked about like, hey, that's a really good way to go. No pain in your sleep. You just fall asleep and you're off into the next part of your spirit's journey. So, that's one positive thing to look at. And, we don't want to, if we really truly love someone, especially if someone passes and we're like, we feel that grief, it's because you love them, you care. Otherwise you wouldn't care and you wouldn't have any feelings about it. So, even this can go into any relationship, not just with someone, passing away, but truly loving someone is selfless. All right. When we get upset and angry, like if we have a relationship breakup and we get upset and angry because the relationship didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out, and someone else wanted to leave that relationship and move on because they felt it was best for them. They weren't feeling their cup full and they weren't feeling the way that they feel they should feel within that relationship. If you truly love that person, true love is letting go, letting them be able to do whatever is going to truly make them happy. And when we don't see it that way, oftentimes we want what we want, and someone else, we don't own anyone else, or else that would be a slave. All right, so the fact that we feel that like, oh, they left me, they did all this, and we get angry, we don't truly love them. We look at that more as a possession. And again, if you own someone, you can look that up online, that's a slave. So the more that we're able to get out of this idea that it's all about you, you're not truly loving someone. You are loving the way that you are feeling, the way that this person makes you feel, and that's great. But again, if it's not resonating with them, or if someone passes away and we're like, God, why did you take this person away? I hate you. How could you let them die? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? Again, that's not true love for that person. If that person was suffering and then they passed away, you should be happy for them because they're no longer suffering. Would you want someone to still be here for you because you want them to be here, granted they were suffering every day of their life? Or would you want them to be feeling good, free of their suffering, being able to actually live a life that they enjoyed? In a relationship, if you truly love someone and they were not happy, would you want them to stay there and be miserable because you want them to? Or if you truly love them, do you want them to be able to go out and actually find what really fills their cup up? Even with kids, parents, a lot, I dealt with this with my own mom. My mom didn't want to let go. I had to tell my mom, hey, I'm done. I'm not here to take care of you. Granted, my parents had a divorce, and for a long time I felt like it was my job to take care of my mom to a certain extent. But my mom is a grown adult. She wasn't super old. She didn't have health problems. All right. She needed to be able to take care of herself. And if she was not able to take care of herself, she would always be dependent on me or dependent on another individual for the rest of her life. And until we can actually stand on our own and be happy with ourselves and love ourselves and know that we have no control over anyone else, and we need to allow people to be able to live their life and find their true happiness, go through their trials and tribulations and all these different things, It's extremely important to be able to do that. And the sooner that you realize that, you acknowledge that, and you practice that, the anger, the frustration, the loss, all of these things they're not gonna be around you anymore. You're not gonna feel those emotions that suck. Instead, you're gonna be empowered. You're gonna know what you need to do. You're gonna have love for you. You are gonna truly actually live the life that you wanna live. And you're gonna be able to find the relationships that you want. You're gonna be okay with letting go if someone passes away. And you're gonna be able to actually fulfill the things that if that person passed away, what they would really want you to do. But the more you live into that negativity mindset, that frustration, that anger, that sadness, that depression, all of those things, you're never gonna truly actually be happy. All right, now, one thing back to, my babysitter, she was expressing how she had all this regret. She was upset that she didn't take pictures. She's upset she didn't answer the phone. And yeah, I get that, all right? And that's part of the grieving process. That's part of the letting go. Because I told her, I said, yeah, as much as that is a bummer, it is a bummer, all right? Through every trial and tribulation that we go through, it's actually your biggest teacher at that moment. But oftentimes we are so tied into the feeling of frustration. Why is this happening to me? I hate you, God. I hate people. I hate all this. And we're in this anger. We're in this frustration, and it consumes us. And then we go down a life road of depression, and we're gaining weight. We're not taking care of our body. We're getting sick. We're doing all these things, and you're the one doing it to yourself because you want to stay in this mindset. You want to stay in everything that you are feeling. So that's why it's important, first step, allow yourself to get through those emotions, but give yourself a timeline. Give yourself a date that you are going to be done with that grieving. Again, a few days, a week, maybe 2 weeks. And tell yourself, I'm going to set a plan. I'm going to do things that resonate with me to be able to work through this and to actually think about what they would really want me to do. How can I move past this situation in a positive light that'll actually bring them respect, that'll actually make them proud of the way that you handled it? Because really, if someone passed away, do you think that they're going to be really happy and proud of you for continuing to just fall into depression and letting yourself go? No. All right? If you were in a relationship and you truly loved that person and that person cared about you, but just not in that relationship that way, do you think that they're going to be proud of you and be happy for you for living in depression and beating yourself up and bringing in all this self-doubt that I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not all these different things? No, it just didn't work out, and that's okay because it wasn't meant to be. All right, so back to my babysitter. She told me these things, and I said, hey, that's okay. Feel that out. It just happened. Give yourself a couple days. Give yourself a week, 2 weeks. Give yourself some grace. Don't go do anything. Do whatever it is you need to do to work through this. Go eat the food that you want to. Go sit and watch the movies that you want to. Take a bath all day long. I don't know what it is that's going to do it for you. Only you do, but do it. Then, as you work through the grieving process, write down all the things that you're beating yourself up over. Write down those regrets. Because all of the things that you're saying that you made a mistake on, those are things you need to change. Those are the lessons that you're learning from that situation. The fact that she didn't take pictures, she didn't make it a priority to take pictures with her uncle. She didn't make it a priority to answer the phone call and talk with him. She didn't make it a priority to be able to go and see him and hang out and spend time with him. See, all right, nothing else matters about the present that you have right now. The present that you have right now. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to make the most out of it by going and spending time with the people that you love? All right, putting in work for the goals and things that you have to be able to reach that you really want to do? Or are you going to sit on your phone scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram Reels, or on Netflix, or whatever it may be, doing stuff that's not going to actually do any good for you? I'll say you can watch this because we're talking about being able to bring in the best version of yourself. I'm hoping that you're going to learn something from all the videos that I put up here. All right, so the only time that I'm looking at stuff is for educational purposes. Whether I'm looking up new rock spots, or I'm learning about new crystals, rocks, and minerals, or I'm looking at mental health stuff, or I'm looking at a new workout, or I'm looking at financial stuff with crypto or the markets and, just how world stuff is going on. Everything that I am spending my time with is to bring in education or out of love with my family, my kids, or doing something that fills me up by working out, going grocery shopping, writing down my food list, or going surfing, or going on a hike, or doing things that I love to do. Sure, there's time to chill, there's time to relax and watch a show and stuff like that, but oftentimes when we're dealing with things like this, it can turn into months like that. It can turn into years like that. And that's what we don't want to do, because now you're not living life at all. You're not living life at all, and that sucks. All right, I don't want anyone to feel that, and that's why I feel it's important that I come on here and share these things. So I told her, you have these regrets, all right, and that's okay. Feel these regrets, but don't let these things happen again. Learn from your mistakes, all right? Learn from your mistakes. Funny thing is, tell you a little story, you know, I'm always trying to be able to work on more patience. That's something that I'm trying to be able to do. Work on more patience. I want more patience with my children, you know? Having a 1.5-year-old, it can get challenging sometimes. Yesterday, to be honest with you, he was getting into the cat litter, thought it was his sandbox, and came out, handfuls, throwing it all over. There was cat shit in there, there was everything. I'm like, no, go wash his hands, come up, sweeping it up. He goes right back in there. He went in there 3 times, and I'm like, Brody, what are you doing? No. I need patience with those situations. All right, but yeah, that was a test to my patience, not to freak out and yell and scream and do all these things and just be okay, but learn how to work that situation. But oftentimes, when I'm asking for more patience, help me with more patience, or give me, I want more strength, I want to be stronger. Well, you know what's going to happen is that the universe or God is going to give you situations to make you stronger. He's going to bring more what we want to call crap in our life, more hard situations, more things that you don't want to deal with. But don't you understand, those situations that you don't want to deal with, those situations that are hard, those situations that are uncomfortable, those situations that are frustrating, those situations that are sad, all of those situations are there to teach you a bigger lesson. Those situations are there to be able to give you the strength, to give you the patience, to be able to work through a conflicting situation, a difference that you may have with a different individual. That is your chance, that is your test, that is your lesson to be able to get stronger, to have more patience, to have more. All right, so my phone overheated. It seems to be a common issue even now in September. Finishing out September into October, it's still hot where I live a little bit. But, all right, what I was talking about, being able to look at all the issues that we deal with through the right perspective. And again, all right, I said, give yourself some time to be able to work through the emotions that each situation will bring us. But you got to give yourself a deadline to be able to be done dealing with those emotions. We can't live with those emotions forever. We have to let those emotions go. And we have to really look at the true meaning of whatever situation it is that you're really working through. All right, so like I said, my babysitter, she lost her uncle. Yes, losing someone is really tough. But I told her to focus in on the time that she got to spend with him. Those memories that we have when we were present and we were able to spend time with someone, talk with them, all of that, those are worth more than anything, because no one can take those away from you. Your house can burn down, you can lose all your photos. Your phone, you can lose your phone, those are all gone. But the memories that you have in your head, in your mind, you hold on to those for forever, all right? Unless you end up getting dementia or something like that, or Alzheimer's, which that's a different story, and I'll be talking about that at some point as well. But, all right, so that's why living in the present, being able to actually do things, going out and hanging out with your friends. Oh, I'm tired, I'd rather sit at home and watch Game of Thrones instead of going and having, lunch or something with someone that I haven't seen in a while, or my mom, or my sister, or my dad, or whatever it may be, all right? I want to go do this instead of spending time with my kids. All these different things, all right? Switch that mindset. It's a blessing. It's an opportunity for you to be able to go take. And if you really care and love about these people or anything like that, then it should be a priority for you. Second thing, she talked about her regrets. And I said, those are all valid. And yeah, that sucks. All right. But take this opportunity to learn from these regrets. She was complaining about her dad. I said, how would you feel if your dad passed away? Would you have any regrets if your dad passed away tomorrow? With the things that you're saying, how he's breathing down your neck, and you guys live together, and you're 21, and you want your freedom, and you want all these things. I told her your freedom is something that you have to earn. His respect is something that you have to earn. You have to be able to show by the actions that you take in the life that you're living that you can go and spread your wings and fly, and you can be that way. But if you want to sit here and continue to argue with your dad, you want to tell him you hate him, you want to express to me how frustrated you are and how much of a jerk he is because he won't let you take his car and he won't do these things and he treats you like his daughter still, you know, that's just the way it is. I want you to get a job. I'm working on it. Well, I told her, give yourself a timeline. Say, hey, look, my goal is to have a job by this date. If I don't have a job by this date, whether it be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, a week, then come back and check in on me, and maybe I need some accountability and some help and support. But give me my space for this little bit of time. All right, and that resonated with her. She was like, okay, that makes sense. But back to the regrets, I said, you know, if your dad passed away, as much as you're saying that you're frustrated with him, as much as he's making you angry right now, would you have those regrets? Is the anger and frustration that you're truly feeling right now more than what you would possibly feel if he were to not be in your life anymore? And she was like, shit. And I said, understand where he's coming from. Yeah, he might not be expressing it the proper way, and not everyone knows how to do that. Especially as a parent, it's really challenging to be able to express the things that you want and allow your children to be able to get it. All right, I struggled with that for a long time myself growing up. I just wanted independence and control and stuff. And until I got out and I got a job and I saved my money and I did all that, that's when I truly got that, because I earned it. My parents know, okay, Christian works his ass off. He's bought his own car. He's done all these things. I guess he's got it. We're going to let him go and see, let him figure out his own journey. So, you know, I told her, I said, look, take as many pictures with as many people that you really truly care about as you can. Spend as much time, make it a priority to go and see those people and spend time with them. Because again, now, you know, you can talk to someone one day or think about someone one day and the next day they can be gone. So don't let those mistakes happen again. Learn from this, all right? And then be happy for your uncle that he's not suffering from colon cancer anymore. Every single day she said that he was in pain, taking all these different meds, doing all these different things. He was not living a life that anyone should be living. He was in pain, so be happy for him that he is out of that. And whatever you believe on what happens after this physical life here, all right, she said, I know he's in a better place with his mom and all this stuff. I said, then good, then be happy for him. And know that he's always there looking down. At any time you think about him, that is him right there with you. You can talk to him whenever you want. You're not going to physically hear something, but a situation might occur. Be like, oh shit. Like, I just saw this picture and I was just saying this, and then I saw the picture and I haven't seen that picture in 3 years and it was just out. What the fuck? This is crazy. Yeah, shit like that happens. But if we're not open to recognizing it and we're just stuck in this depression, this self-doubt, this regret, and all these different things, you're not going to see the beauty of life. Second situation, one of my clients, all right, his wife just got in a pretty bad car accident, totaled her car. Is gone. Car's gone. Luckily, though, she made it out okay. She didn't have any serious injuries or repercussions from totaling the car. And, you know, he was extremely frustrated and kind of freaking out because they both work. And luckily, they don't have any kids, but, you know, he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do on getting her a car. I'm super stressed out. Work has been crazy and all this stuff. And, you know, he's done a really good job. He's lost a lot of weight. He's started to really understand how to take care of his body, and he's feeling good. You know, he works at a welding factory, and he's working with furnaces that are over 400 degrees and full suits and all this. So he works his fucking ass off. He probably has one of the hardest jobs that I know anyone that has, especially from physical labor. The hours, they work 12 hours shifts in the morning and in the middle of the night, just crazy. And I'm like, dang, man, I got a lot of respect for you for waking up and doing the things that you're doing, and you're still going to the gym, you're still getting your workouts, you're still trying to be able to track your food and do the best with your food. You're crushing it, and I got a lot of respect from you. When I'm struggling, I think about you, man. You're going and all that, and you know, and so he was like, this extra thing, he's like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Like, everything, like, I'm trying so hard to stick with the program, I'm trying so hard to stay positive, and then things like this just can kind of continue to happen. I said, look, I said, yes, it's stressful. Losing a car, having it totaled, having to go through the process of insurance and all these, it's just one more headache that we don't need. However, we have to look at the positive. She's okay. She came out unscathed, no injuries, no repercussions. That is the number one blessing right there. Most people, 90% of the time, come out with injuries or don't make it from a car accident, a car wreck, a total of a car. All right? A car is replaceable. Yeah, it's tough. It costs money. It's going to take some time to figure out, but it is replaceable. Someone's life is not. So be thankful for that. Second thing is everything in life is temporary. All right? Summer is temporary. Fall, winter is temporary. We all go through seasons of life, just like the seasons like I just explained, and they're all temporary. As long as you allow them to be temporary. Again, like I said with the emotions, how long are you going to allow those emotions to take over your life? They need to be temporary, and you need to be in control of how your emotions, how situations are going to react and, make a chain reaction in your life. You are in control of that. You are truly in control of your emotions. Your mindset and what you tell yourself is what dictates those things. And as long they had insurance and stuff like that. And I said, dude, you've got insurance. That's why you have insurance. You have options on being able to get a new car. You can go look to buy a used car. You can go lease a car. You get a brand new car. Sometimes no money down, sometimes a little bit of money down. If you got insurance and they're going to give you, a settlement on that, then there's your money right there to go put down on a brand new car and lease it. See if you like, get a brand new car. She's going to be happy, all these different things. Or go and buy a car. I mean, right now, used cars and stuff, it's not the best financial time to do that. No financial advice, but I'm sure you've seen, reports and stuff coming out, or you can just go to the car dealership and see the prices of the used cars. All right. So thinking of those things, and not only that, but looking at this challenge that's coming here and said, okay, how am I going to attack it? Yes, I know I have all these other things, but this challenge that I'm going to add on to my plate is going to make me stronger. I'm going to learn some different things. If he's never dealt with a car wreck before and having to work through that process, he's now going to learn how that process works. So that if it ever happens again, he's like, oh, I've already done this before. I've got the experience with it. I know what to do. Yeah, it's tough, but I know it's temporary. We're both alive and well, unscathed, blessed, awesome. So thankful for that. And now we're just going to take care of this situation and we'll move through it. And then before you know it, you're going to have another situation. But again, it's all about the perspective that you look at these situations through and how you deal with them. And if you look at it and you really think about it, again, when we have regret, sit with that regret for a little bit. It's okay. But then look to turn that regret around and say, look, I am not going to have this feeling of regret over this situation, over this experience that happened, because I am going to change it. I am going to take control and learn from this situation so that I don't have to have this happen again, right? So again, I encourage you. I know it's not an easy thing to do, to be able to switch the mind around and look at things through different perspectives, but I encourage you to, all right? If you ever need help with that, leave a comment below, all right? And if you are someone that's been challenged with this and have been stuck, all right, reach out. This is what I do for a living, all right? I help people by life coaching and health and fitness coaching. I've got my own app. We have 24-hour communication, weekly check-ins multiple times a week. I do a live stream webinar with all the clients that I work with. And pretty soon I'm going to be getting ready to open that up with a Patreon group that I'm going to be going into. All right, so if you are struggling with these situations, know that you're not alone. All right, I've talked to hundreds and thousands of people that have experienced these things, and this is just life. Everybody is going to have these trials and tribulations in life, because this is what life is about. This is what truly makes you stronger and makes you who you are. So embrace it, learn from it, love it. As frustrating as it can be sometimes, do your best to change your mindset. And again, if you need some help, and what I say resonates with you and you want to work together, I would love to be able to help you. If you have someone else that you know that does this and they resonate with you, work with them. All right? Take control and get the help that you need. Get the coaching, get the education that you need to be able to work through these things, because it is very possible. And once you make that choice to let go of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, and you take action to change that, by talking with someone or getting a coach or just making the decision to just stop and start doing the things that you want to do and learn from it, everything that you've ever wanted will come to you, and you will be happy, and you will live life the way that you're supposed to live. All right, so I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that this truly helps you. I appreciate each and every one of you that's taken the time to watch this. And, you know, if it does help, if it does appreciate, you know, if you do appreciate it, smash the like button, because that's going to help other individuals to be able to see this. And hopefully it helps them. If you know someone specific that is going through a rough time, send this, share this with them, and hope that it resonates with them. And if you're not subscribed, I would love if you've subscribed, if it resonates with you. And other than that, stay tuned for more information about my Patreon that'll be coming up. If you want to check out my coaching program and you want to set up a free consultation with me, you guys can check out my website. It's coachchristianfit.com, or find me on Instagram, or check out the links below. I'll have all my Instagram handles, the website name, and everything in the description below. And I'm here to help you. All right, this is all that I want to do to be able to make this world a happier, more fulfilling, loving world that we live in. Because there's a lot of screwed up stuff that's going down right now. And the more that we can come together and focus in on this positive mindset, we can actually really start to see the beauty that's truly around us every single day. All right, so I appreciate you all. I love you all, and hope you have a wonderful, amazing day. We'll see you. Bye.